It began with a single radio message, short, direct, and utterly unexpected. During free practice at the Japanese Grand Prix, Yuki Tsunoda delivered feedback to his new Red Bull engineers in a tone so calm, it defied every rumour about his hot-headed nature. Fans, pundits, and even the pit lane were stunned. This was supposed to be an all-or-nothing moment for Yuki, racing at home with enormous pressure and the world's attention. Instead of a frantic outburst, he spoke with the ease of a seasoned pro. Within minutes, social media dubbed it the Suzuka moment, a sudden reveal that maybe, just maybe, Tsunoda had found a different gear, one few believed he possessed. For most of his early career, Tsunoda was known for raw speed, flashes of brilliance, and emotional radio rants that sometimes overshadowed his potential. Accusations surfaced that he lacked the discipline necessary for a top seat. At AlphaTauri, team bosses saw glimpses of a future star, but worried his intensity would keep him stuck in the midfield. Yet behind the scenes, Tsunoda was quietly refining his race day approach, limiting outbursts, mastering data analysis, and even consulting sports psychologists. When the call finally came to step into the Red Bull garage, if only temporarily, he appeared eager to prove those old labels outdated, if not outright wrong. Despite being Red Bull's backup plan for several seasons, Tsunoda never let that status define him. While rumours hinted that Liam Lawson or Daniel Ricciardo could swoop in ahead of him, Yuki kept his head down. He knew Red Bull demanded unwavering composure alongside blistering lap times, qualities he once lacked. Now, the very skill he was criticised for missing, steady radio communication, became his greatest advantage. Early in the session at Suzuka, he managed to place himself within striking distance of Max Verstappen's times. But the real bombshell came when he radioed in. No dramatics, no frantic pleas, just methodical feedback. For a team used to coaxing anxious second drivers, it was a revelation. A team that once viewed Tsunoda as too emotional, suddenly saw a driver who might rival their top star in both pace and poise. Engineers reportedly exchanged impressed glances. Helmut Marko, known for his blunt assessments, was said to give a rare nod of approval. This was a stark contrast to the raw rookie narrative. Christian Horner, asked about Tsunoda's prospects, played it coy, but even he couldn't hide a trace of excitement at the prospect of a fresh challenge within the team. For Red Bull, finding someone who can work seamlessly with Verstappen while also bringing their own spark has been a never-ending struggle. In that moment, Yuki looked like a promising solution. Naturally, new controversies followed. Some claimed Tsunoda's calm might crack under true race conditions, especially if he's wheel-to-wheel with Verstappen or embroiled in a chaotic fight for position. Others speculated that Red Bull's top brass orchestrated the entire scenario to test Yuki under extreme scrutiny, possibly setting him up as a future replacement for any faltering incumbent. Fans debated whether Tsunoda could really challenge Max, or if he'd eventually be relegated to the dreaded number 2 slot. Amid all this speculation, the man at the centre remained characteristically tight-lipped, acknowledging the spotlight but refusing to be swept up in its frenzy. Naturally, new controversies followed. Some claimed Tsunoda's calm might crack under true race conditions, especially if he's wheel-to-wheel with Verstappen or embroiled in a chaotic fight for position. Others speculated that Red Bull's top brass orchestrated the entire scenario to test Yuki under extreme scrutiny, possibly setting him up as a future replacement for any faltering incumbent. Fans debated whether Tsunoda could really challenge Max, or if he'd eventually be relegated to the dreaded number 2 slot. Amid all this speculation, the man at the centre remained characteristically tight-lipped, acknowledging the spotlight but refusing to be swept up in its frenzy. Japan's rabid F1 fanbase intensified the moment. Grandstands brimming with flags and banners turned Suzuka into a charged arena of national pride. It was almost as if Tsunoda fed on the energy, turning potential nerves into laser focus. By the end of practice, he'd not only validated Red Bull's decision to trust him, he'd given local fans a glimpse of a homegrown hero who could thrive at the pinnacle of motorsport. And with every fresh rumour of a bigger role in 2025 or beyond, the hype around Tsunoda only grew stronger. Red Bull's success thrives on extremes, a dominant lead driver and an engineering empire built to defend his titles. Yet the second driver seat has often felt cursed, promising talents who never fully flourished. Suddenly, Tsunoda's combination of speed and a newfound mental calm suggests he might rewrite that script. If he can push Verstappen, or at least stay close enough to apply pressure, it might elevate the entire operation. In a sport where internal tensions can either drive innovation or implode a team, Tsunoda's balanced approach might be exactly what Red Bull needs to stay on top. So, is this the start of a bold new era for Yuki Tsunoda, or just a temporary surge fueled by a home race and adrenaline? With the F1 calendar barreling toward more high-stakes circuits, we'll soon find out if he can replicate this composure under shifting conditions and tighter title battles. For now, though, Suzuka stands as the moment that silenced doubters and forced Red Bull and everyone else to look at Yuki Tsunoda in a whole new light. Could he be the one to finally stabilize Red Bull's second seat and push Verstappen to new heights? Only time will tell, but for once, Tsunoda's name isn't just an afterthought, it's the talk of the entire paddock. Yuki Tsunoda's performance at Suzuka didn't just catch fans off guard, it sent shockwaves through the Formula One world. For years, he's been seen as the fiery underdog, talented but unrefined. Someone with raw speed, yes, but also someone too emotional, too volatile for the demands of a championship-winning team. That perception may have just shattered in a single weekend. What we witnessed wasn't just fast laps or improved communication, it was transformation. The Yuki Tsunoda we saw in Japan wasn't trying to prove he belonged anymore. He knew he did. That confidence, delivered not with arrogance, but with quiet certainty, was more telling than any timesheet or podium finish. He's no longer racing to impress, he's racing to lead. This moment matters because Red Bull's second seat has long been a graveyard for promising careers. It chews up and spits out drivers who can't meet the impossible standard set by Max Verstappen. But Tsunoda's performance suggests a new possibility, not just that he can survive in that seat, but that he can thrive, that he can contribute, compete, and maybe even challenge the hierarchy that has defined Red Bull for so long. And let's not ignore the bigger picture. Formula One has been craving fresh energy, new rivalries, and unexpected narratives. Tsunoda's evolution could be the start of a storyline that shakes up the championship fight, not because he's ready to dethrone Verstappen, but because he might be the first teammate in years who forces Red Bull to raise its internal standards. Someone who adds pressure in a good way, sharpens the team's edge, and keeps the reigning champ on his toes. But make no mistake, this won't be easy. The season is long, the expectations are crushing. Every move Tsunoda makes from here on out will be under a microscope. One bad weekend, one emotional misstep, and critics will be ready to call Suzuka a fluke. But if he continues this trajectory, if he keeps combining speed with maturity, calm with confidence, he might become not just Red Bull's most important asset, but one of the sport's most compelling stories. So now the question shifts from can he handle it to what's his ceiling? Could Yuki Tsunoda evolve into more than just a reliable second driver? Could he be the next breakout star to challenge F1's old guard? Could this be the beginning of a new Red Bull era, one with two real contenders in the garage? Whatever happens next, one thing's clear. Suzuka wasn't just a turning point for Tsunoda. It might be the start of something much, much bigger. And if you want to see how it all plays out, don't just watch the races. Watch the paddock, the press conferences, the subtle shifts in strategy, because something is brewing inside Red Bull, and Tsunoda may be the spark that changes everything.